Hi guys, just want to share my collection of Jaws stuff that I have so far, and hopefully you enjoy it. I'm really proud of some of this stuff. I've only been collecting for a couple of years, but this is what I got so far. Come with me this way. We'll start out here. My friend got me these two little framed pictures, and this one I just got at Christmas time. It's pretty cool. He found a place that will print up a picture and he put that saying on there, and it's a joke between him and I, because he's like me. He's seen the movie 500 times, but he'd never, ever heard Ben Gardner say, I hope you're not going out with those nuts, are you? He'd never heard that before until I told him. And he's like, I've seen it 1,000 times. Over here, part of my prize collection. Zoom out, Jesse C. Steven. And this is posters that I made. And we've been to the Vineyard twice, and I've met these people and got autographs. A couple of them I had to mail them to them. And one in particular is extremely important. This first one here is Richard Dreyfuss. Met him in September at Comic-Con in Toronto, and it was without a doubt one of the highlights for me, having seen the movie 500 times. I made one here with Lee Fierro as Mrs. Kintner. We met her in the Vineyard twice. Drove down to the Vineyard first time, and all I did was steal the phone book out of the inn that I was staying in and looked her up in the phone book, and there she was. And I phoned her, and she answered the phone. And I explained to her that I'm not crazy, but we just drove all the way from, I told her Toronto, because that's basically where we came from. And I said, we just want to meet you, have some pictures to get signed. Can't believe I'm talking to you. So she said, okay. She said, I'll meet you at the library at 5 o'clock. We drove to the library, and there she was. And after talking to her for 2 minutes, she said, let's go get a drink. She immediately was comfortable, and God bless her. She came, we sat for an hour and had a drink, and she told us stories, and she signed some posters that I made. And then subsequently, when we went back last year, the second time, I phoned her again and said, I'm coming back, what can I bring you? And all she wanted was a little Canadian flag. So we brought her a little flag, and then she allowed us to take her out for lunch. And we took her out, and we sat in her favorite restaurant for 2 hours and talked and laughed and told stories and talked about everything, Jaws and everything. Unbelievable time. What an awesome lady. The lady's 84 years old. She's quite sick. She just got out of the hospital the last time I was down there. She just got out of the hospital, and she still was able to, with her walker, come and get in our car and let us drive her to where she wanted to go. And I just, God bless her. Right here, Jeff Voorhees. I made this poster up off the internet. The same thing, remembering Alex Kintner. It was all the pictures of him getting eaten. He signed that for me. I just got this one here. This is Paul Goulart. This guy, he's in Jaws, but in a deleted scene, in one of the funniest deleted scenes. And didn't realize the pictures were so dark. But bless his heart, he let me mail it to him, and he signed it and personalized it for me, and it's one of a kind, except for I got a few for my friends. And he signed it and sent it back. Here's one. This guy here, Herschel West. There's Quint's helper, named Salvatore, if you look on IMDb. Quint's helper. He's like 90 years old, still works at the fish market down in Menemsha every day. And when I got hold of him, he said, come on down. I'm there every day between 10 and 4. And we go down there, and sure enough, he's at a freezer, and he's cutting fish. And when I said, can I meet you for a minute? He puts his stuff down, and he comes out very slowly. He's 90 years old. And he sat and talked with us for half an hour. He signed about 20 things for me and my friend Ken. This is one of the posters. I had these all laminated so nothing would happen to them. Here's another very important piece. I just did the same thing with Carl Gottlieb. Mr. Gottlieb was able to sign this for me. This is huge, huge. He also signed my copy of the Jaws log, which is just incredible. I absolutely love it. Here's a really cool find. Look at this. This is Tom Dunlop. Tom Dunlop was in part 2. And he played Timmy. But he's also in part 1. He has a very, very blink and you'll miss it scene in part 1. How he snuck onto the beach, and he's a great storyteller. This guy, I got a hold of him on Facebook and said, can I come meet you when I'm down in the Vineyard? He said, yeah, no problem. And then we got lost down the Vineyard and we got held up and this and that. And this guy came to our inn and just sat around and waited for us. I'd taken his time up and he sat there and he just read his book and he waited. And then we subsequently went for like a drink, like lunch, you know, a Sunday or something. And he sat and we talked for like 90 minutes. And what a guy. Just love this guy. Super, super guy. Let's carry on over here. All right, just a collection of Jaws stuff here. Got this from a guy in Edmonton, I believe. He makes remakes the Jaws 2 movie programs that they were handing out in '77 when the film was out. Crazy, crazy, awesome collectible. Some of these things my wife got me because she knows I have an obsession. Just even as simple as a Jaws mouse pad, but gotta have it. This here. I'll tell you about this. I'll tell you about this a little bit later. Who I got this from. It means a lot. You get these things down in the Vineyard, the little shark. I think it's funny that Martha's Vineyard, they want everybody to come and vacation there, but it's all shark stuff because they want to capitalize on the Jaws thing. I got two of the same watches, but different bands. They're both gifts, one for my wife, one for my best friend Ken, my Jaws friend. I don't have the heart to wear them, but they're awesome. This here, a very special picture. Met a man named Rene Ben David. Rene was in the first film. He was one of Michael's friends on the boat when the boat gets turned over and the guy gets his leg bit off. And in the deleted scene, Michael gets grabbed by the guy getting eaten. Any Jaws fan knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, turns out his dad, right there, Arthur Ben David, his dad was the harbor master in Oak Bluffs, and he owned the spear gun that they used in the film. Robert Shaw, his dad told me a story about Robert Shaw and Roy Scheider coming to him and wanting to try the gun out and this and that. We spent an hour and a half with these gentlemen, and he let us hold the gun, he let us shoot it, obviously no bullet in it. He let us take it apart, but do all the things that Jaws nerds need to do. And that's like holding Darth Vader's lightsaber to me, as far as I'm concerned. And then Mr. Ben David gives me one of the bullets out of it. I don't know if you can see, but I got one of the bullets in there. I was just like, they were just so nice, so genuine. They could have charged us money. They didn't. They just were nice people. And just recently lost Mr. Ben David, and I never forgot his kindness, or Renee's. Super, super people. Super people. Right here, another holy grail. Here is a 2-inch piece of the actual Orca 2 that we bought from Lynn and Susan Murphy, and comes with a certificate of authenticity, and this is amazing. We went to the Murphy's house, and she talked for over an hour and told us stories, and Lynn was there. He was ill at the time, but he still came out and was a gentleman, and he sat there, and they signed my book and told me stories, and thank God for all the pictures that she took during the filming and all the things that Lynn did during the filming. Just crazy. Without them, I don't think the film would be anywhere near what it actually is. These things are pretty cool. Jack Astor's has these, and I don't know how I ended up with a bunch. It was by accident, I think. I don't know. This here, just added this to my collection recently. This is the February 1968 National Geographic. And the reason why this is so significant is because if you look inside, there is a story called Sharks, Wolves of the Sea. Well, I won't make you look through the whole thing, but if you do some research, you'll see that this particular edition of this magazine has a lot of the pictures. This was one of the books that Brody was looking at, sitting at the table. This particular, I'm sure any Jaws fan will recognize that picture. There's a couple other ones, and I mean, of course, this one right here, absolutely amazing. They make it look like Ellen looks at a different book, but this is where it came from. There's a great website I found called Brody's Bookshelf that has a list of every book that was on the shelf that he was looking at. There's another picture from the film. This is one other book that was on his bookshelf. This one here. Alec Fraser, Brunner's Danger in the Sea. He pulls this down. He goes, Ellen, you know, people don't even know how old sharks are. This is the book he pulls down and flips open like that. This is the book. Got some just collector Jaws magazines here, a Jaws quiz book. But this here, this is just a story. Don't get the phone number. But
oh, I did.
You can. All right. Well, here, just there. The first time we went down to the Vineyard, and we were asking questions, and we were staying at the Eggertown Inn. Someone told me you need to go see Carol Flieger. She was there when they were making the film and this and that. Well, Ken and I were out doing our thing all day, and we knocked on her door, and her granddaughter answered and said, she's not home right now, come back later. Well, by the time we got back, it was like almost 10 o'clock. So we just went to the door just to see if they were awake or whatever, and there was this note taped on her door, and it said, Jaws people, if you want to come back, call me at this number, and I have a 20-minute movie to show you. And this lady, this elderly lady, at 10:30 at night, took me, a 6'7", 330-pound monster, and my friend into her house, brought us upstairs, sat us in her kitchen, and showed us her home movies from the film. Absolutely blew our mind. It was like finding the lost ark. We were just, I'd never seen this footage before. It was unreal. Carol, unbelievable what you did for us. More stuff. Found this last year, just one of the Jaws Fest bags. Got a couple of those. My wife, Jaws Yahtzee. I'm not going to open it. Got these really cool fridge magnets here from Jim Beller. Awesome little magnets. Very, very cool. Found this online. Just a coffee. Now, I don't drink coffee, but it's quite a, you know, they'll put a picture of a shark on a coffee cup and I'll buy it. It's just a still frame. I love this picture. When I showed Dreyfuss this picture, he goes, I wrote this entire scene. All of this scene, I wrote. All the comedy in there, that's all me. That's a very cool story. He looked right at me and told me that. Jaws shark belt buckle. I can't bring myself to take it out of the package and wear it. That would probably jab right into me, but I just, it looks better on the shelf. These here. Thank God for Facebook. You start looking at Jaws stuff and joining groups and stuff, and I met somebody, and his name is Sean, and he was a Jaws guy, and we got talking, and I sent him videos from our trips, and he started making these sculptures and sending them to me, and God bless his heart. Look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. These are parts of my most favorite possession. The shark with the tank in his mouth. I don't even want to hang it up. He's got the strings there and everything. I just want to lay it here flat so everyone can see. And then look at that. And the barrels on the bottom. It's just beautiful. Just beautiful. And even my daughter made me this one years ago, which I thought was pretty cool. I got that there. And I got my Jaws iPhone cover, but I'm not using it. Even got a copy of the license plate here. You doing all right, Jesse? We're not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now if we're going to go up, you'll see here, I've got Jaws cookie jar. Two of my favorite things, Jaws and cookies. And how cool is that? How cool is that? This here is the box for the McFarlane Orca, which I have over here and I'll show you. And a friend of mine gave me this. It's just a pillow, but with Jaws material, which was really, really cool. So, oh, there she goes. All right. Here's a can of the beer. I can never pronounce it. Narragansett. Narragansett beer. This is the beer that Quint was drinking. And when we were in there, we were down in Martha's Vineyard last year, and then we were coming back through Cape Cod. Bought a case of this just because it was like, this is so cool. I got an original 1975 Jaws game. There's the box. Here's the toy. For my friend Nick found it for me and asked me, he said, do you want me to pick it up for you? And I was so happy because the remakes in 1990-91, these sharks were blue. Not even, I don't know why they changed the color, but this is an original 75. It's beautiful. It's missing one little piece, but I'll find it. Then you move over here, and here is the Orca. This is such a beautiful piece. The McFarlane toy, absolutely gorgeous. Detail, unbelievable. Just Just amazing. I had to take it out of the box because it needs to be displayed. It's just beautiful. Being in Canada, we don't get a lot of stuff, but sometimes you go down to the States and some stores have what you want. Well, I go into Toys R Us one day, and what do they have? They have the 3 Jaws action figures, and they have a Jaws shark. And I think these were $10 each, and I think this was $12. And then I find out afterwards that I got the lucky one because this is the one with Quint, and he's got the blade in his arm there, and I guess there's one without it. So I got really lucky. I'll never, ever, ever open that. Little Emily Island fridge magnet. A couple of barrels here. You can see I've got some more autograph pictures up here. Here's Ken and I with Lee. This was the first time we met her. Poor lady, she, like I said, she's not in the greatest of health. And she's walking up and down the town with us and telling us stories. And I have a special place in my heart for that lady. She was just, couldn't have been any nicer. Couldn't have been any nicer. Well, here's one that I printed up that I got Lee to sign. That's just a picture of her and the Chief in the famous slapping scene. This here, I don't know, this was sitting, this picture was when we were down there last time. This was the Edgartown Cinemas were showing Jaws. We were going to go, but we missed it. But somehow the sign came down and I got it, and I got Lee to sign it. Right here, here's Renee and David. Right here, that's him there from the deleted scene. Great picture. It's an awesome, freaky picture, and Renee signed it. And I'm so grateful to have that. This one, I just realized that the glass is cracked. But this is one that I made up. I put the poster here, and I put Jeff Voorhees and Lee there. I thought it would be cool to have them together, and I got them both to sign it. This here I'm kind of proud of. I made this myself. What it is I collected sand from the different areas and then took a picture from that area and named it and then numbered the sand and then put them together. So you can see South Beach. This is sand from South Beach. This is sand from Menemsha, where Quint's shack was. State Beach, where the 4th of July. And the Merritt Badge Beach, and then the pond in the estuary. And that's one of my favorite pictures in the movie too, that clip right there. This down here, they were showing Jaws in the theater a couple of years ago up here for the 40th anniversary. And, you know, in the bathrooms, they have the little miniature marquees, and that was in there. And I'm like, I gotta have this. And of course, it's locked. And so I'm reefing on this thing, trying to get it out. It's locked. They won't let me get it out. It's like, and I'm in the bathroom for 45 minutes. People are coming in and out, and I'm hanging around, walking around the urinals. People are going in and out. I know somebody thought I was creeping. But by the grace of God, after about 20 minutes and about 2 inches of skin off my fingers, I was able to rip that thing open long enough and get it out. Got it, and I'm gone. And then I was able to get 3 signatures. I got Jeff Voorhees, I got Lee Fierro, and I got Herschel West. So, let's keep going, Jess. We're not done. Over here in the corner here. So, got myself a Jaws coffee mug. Don't drink coffee, but gotta have the mug. That's a gift from my wife. I found this in a retro video game store. It's a Nintendo Jaws. Had to have it. The game is absolutely horrible. It's a terrible game. It is the E.T. of Atari games when it comes to this. It's a horrible game, but had to have it. Jaws wallet. Haven't even taken this off because I'll never use it, but you know, put Jaws on anything and I'll buy it. And to prove that, here is a Jaws woman's purse. And I found this on Kijiji. It's very pretty. But I might actually take this out one night when I'm out with my friends at the bar or something, and when it's my round, I got it, guys. And then I'll pull out the old Jaws wallet there, and that'll make a great impression. Oh, here's another can of the Narragansett beer. Got myself a Jaws Zippo. I don't smoke, but how cool is that? Pretty cool Jaws shot glass that my friend Ken found for me. A couple little trinkets from Martha's Vineyard. A fridge magnet, a sticker. I jumped off the Jaws bridge. I was going to do that, and once I got there and saw how big it was and saw how deep the water was, as much as I'd like to have my ashes sprinkled on those rocks that Brody rode down, I do not want to die there that day anyway. Here's a beer cooler with the same Amity Island Running Club thing on it. We got some rocks and shells from the pond area, which is really, really important to us. Got this shark from one of the stores, and I don't remember the name of it. They had the shark up. My friend Ken was like, I gotta have that shark, I gotta have it. So I ended up buying it for something like $200 American. And American converted into Canadian is a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen. But he had to have it. And then he's like, Jimmy, you gotta get one too. Because as soon as he bought it, he walked out and brought another one and hung it up. I'm like, yeah, I don't have 200 American for it. And so we came up with the plan that, why don't we tell him, hey, I'm buying him for my 2 sons. Give me a deal on the second one. So they ended up getting this one for 100. So 100 I could live with. So now I've got a shark too. Pretty awesome. Here's some more little trinkets and stinker stickers and fridge magnets. Just the different things. Amity Police and no swimming. Oh, I gotta show you here. I got a really cool no swimming beach clothes sign that I bought off of my friend Wayne. He makes them on through Facebook, and if anybody wants one, just send me a message because these things are beautiful. This is a picture I bought from a lady who has a store. I don't even remember what she sells, but she had pictures that she had taken during the production, and this was the last big one she had, and I bought it. I had to have it. What a cool picture! You imagine getting up in the morning, out your front door, and you look and you see that in the water. That would freak you out. Here's the Laserdisc Collection from 1995. This was huge. At the time, I was making $4 an hour, and I had 3 kids, and I knew that I had to have this. I didn't care if I had to donate one of my kids' kidneys. I was getting this. It letterbox, and then all the making ofs and everything that was on there. This was amazing, amazing for Jaws fans because we didn't really get a lot. There's never been a track with just the director's commentary or anything, and this is as close as we're ever going to get. This was the Jaws display. It's beat up, but this was the Jaws display from when it first came out on DVD in 99, I believe, and might have been 2000. And this was like from Future Shop or something, and this is what I was able to get out of it. Just cool. It's kind of delicate, so I just leave it there. This book. Any Jaws lover knows what this book is. Well, I didn't know until a couple of years ago. My friend Ken knew I was having a hard time. My dad was dying, and I knew I was in a down place, and he found this book, and he got it for me. And this, anybody who knows this book knows that this is the Bible. This is the ultimate reference Bible. And I actually have 2 copies, one that's not open now, but this one that's open with all the yellow tags in it, just to show you this is all where I have my autographs of people like Edith Blake. I got Edith Blake to sign. I got Lynn Murphy. What a gentleman! As sick as he was, he still found the time to sit and sign his signature for me. And real gentleman, and he's awesome. And beautiful Lynn Murphy, look at that. Excuse me, Susan Murphy. She was so awesome too, and very, very gracious to us. And so many good stories and pictures in here. And these pictures that she took, my God, they're just beautiful. There's Herschel. He signed. This is from the deleted scenes going into the music store there, and he signed it. I asked him, I said, Herschel, I said, what do you remember about the film? What do you remember about doing it? And the only thing he said to me was, I had a little dog. And there's the little dog right there. That's all he says, I had a little dog. We're almost done, Jess, we're almost done. There's more Lynn Murphy and Susan Murphy with more of their great, great pictures. These are just, any fan would love it. Jeff Voorhees signed this for me too. These people, when I get them to sign, I get them to sign 5 or 6 things. But never, ever, ever to sell. I give them to some friends that are overseas that can't get there. I've never sold anything to anybody because this is just about a love of a film, the greatest film ever. This is Carol Flieger. This is the lady I was telling you about. She's in the background of the scene when Brody's first sitting on the beach watching the kids play. She's in the background pretending to put suntan lotion on. And a very nice lady. Very nice. And there's Renee Ben David signing for me there, which is really cool. And yeah, Renee right there, cool shot. And there's the fin coming. It's an outtake, obviously, because the shark fins out of the water. I don't know why I have that up there. And one more, I think, here. Oh, and again, Arthur Ben David. This is how I found Arthur. And here's a picture of Quint's gun. How amazing is that? And Mr. Ben David signed this. And he was such a gracious man and had some really cool stories, how they wanted to get Renee for part 2. And he wouldn't let it happen because he didn't want Renee to miss any school. and that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool story. He was very, 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 very gracious to us. Just some different versions of Jaws I have here. I got this one. This is just a French version. Different. I had to get it online. Here's a copy of the VHS, but I got Lee, Herschel, and Jeff to sign it as well. I got a couple of spare copies of that. I don't know why. I see them on Kijiji and stuff, and I have to have them. I can't not have them. But this is cool here too. I'm looking for, if anybody ever has, I'm looking for on VHS Part 4 of Jaws. But like for instance, I got 2 different versions of the first film on VHS, but you can see it's different. MCA. The color's a bit different. You can see the color difference. And you can see this one's with the MCA sticker and it's got the number up there. That one doesn't. It's different. Gotta have it. And, well, Part 2. Mint condition too. Part 2 and Part 3. So, gotta have it. Here's a collection of the LPs I have. The first 3 LPs. This one's unsealed. And then Part 2 and Part 3. The music in the first 2 are great. Just absolutely great. And even people slag the second film. I like the second film nowhere near as much as the first, but I do like the second film. But I love the music. The music is wonderful. We're getting there. Sand. I just collected some sand. Whether or not you're supposed to or not, had to do it. You can see when I collected it. It's pond sand collected on this date. The estuary, the Jaws Bridge, State Beach, where the Kintner death was, the opening scene, the campfire on South Beach, Merritt Beach, and Menemsha. Got this really cool thing at the paper store there in Edgartown. I don't know, 30 bucks or whatever it was. But what's cool about it is you open it up. I mean, they could have put the real shark on there. That would have been awesome, but they didn't. Open up the beer, and the cap goes and it hangs right on there. So whatever, had to have it. Here's something I just found about 6 months ago. Mint condition. This is the Mad magazine from '76 of Jaws. Mint condition. I got 6 of them actually, 6 different ones, but this was the only one I really wanted. But they were all mint and they were all retro. $4 Canadian. Can you believe that? They just wanted to get rid of it. I was like, I'll take it. So that is a very important piece. Over here, I don't know if you can see in here, this is something my daughter made in her pottery class. Put a picture of me chilling out there on top instead of Chrissy. But I love this picture, it's really cool. You did a good job, Jess.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Just some things that I kept at Martha's Vineyard. I got this book from Tom Dunlop when we met him. This was something that he edited, and it was a gift from him that was really cool. This was the Island phone book that somehow ended up in my bag when we were in Martha's Vineyard. And this was my reference for phoning some of the locals. And I don't know how it happened. What else we got here? Same thing with the books. You get some different versions. Obviously Jaws Revenge and Jaws 2, but like I have a couple of different versions, a few different versions actually, of the making of Jaws. This book was unbelievable when I was a kid. Stolen from my library in my public school, and just the reference and the pictures and the stories and unbelievable. And then I ended up finding this as a kid, and it's like, oh my God, this is written by the guy that wrote the movie. And you can see that this one's been read to death. The pictures and the pages are all coming apart, but this is extremely important to me. And there's a few different versions of the book here. This is the one that came with the Laserdisc Collection in '95. Here's an updated version of the Jaws log that Mr. Gottlieb very kindly autographed for me. I can open it up. Stay dry, which was pretty funny. I have an original hardcover copy of the book here, and I have a hardcover copy of Lou Pisano and Michael Smith's book. This is a really good, interesting read. Some really cool stories that I had no idea about. Very, very cool. I highly recommend it to anybody that has not seen it. Let me put these back so they don't get ruined. There we go. Up here, some alternate DVDs and such. These are just DVDs that I made of our trips. This is our Jawsome adventure team. Look at that, standing in front of the old Sculpin Gallery. That's massive. I want that sign so bad. These are just home movie DVDs that I made. It's us with Jeff Kramer or Jeff Voorhees in the back. Pretty cool. These are DVDs of the different Revenge, or the copies of the Revenge. Here's part 2. And then there's that's the anniversary edition, the 25th anniversary edition, Academy Award version, and then the empty box. Also got the PS2 game for Jaws Unleashed. This was a way better game because you were actually the shark. What a way better game, night and day. Let me tell you about these discs. These discs. Lou Bizzano, Lou and Yana's Jaws Fest. What an ultimate reference. If you ever go to the island and you want to go to some of the places or meet some of the people, whatever, this is the Death Star plans right here. This is awesome. If you can ever get a hold of these, the ultimate reference. And Lou is a fantastic guy, super guy. And a really cool shark hat. No, I'm not putting it on. But, no, I'm not putting it on. All right, I'll put it on. Yeah, so it's totally. Yeah. So, thank you. My daughter laughing. Hey, look at this now. Look at this. I waited 42 years for this, and you can tell that he couldn't wait for me to leave. No, I'm just kidding. He couldn't have been any nicer, just for whatever reason. In the millisecond that you get, anybody that's had a photo op with him or any kind of celebrity photo op knows that you're in and out in 2 seconds. And he literally was. We were talking and laughing right before that, and they just got him in mid frown. But he couldn't have been any nicer. He couldn't have been more of a gentleman, and I'm very grateful to have met him. I spent a lot of money on autographs, and it was well worth it. This is one of the autographs here. He started to write my name, but he's got OCD or something, because he gets talking, he starts talking about other things, and so he wrote Jam and then signed it. Fine with me. My wife bought this thing online for Christmas this year, just like a little fuzzy throw towel or whatever. She doesn't really pay attention. She doesn't know. Her heart's in the right place, but she doesn't know. So first of all, it's farewell and adieu to you, Spanish ladies. Farewell is spelled wrong, and we're going to need a bigger boat. Well, you're going to need a bigger boat. Nice try, guys. Yeah. This here, Ken and I were coming back from the Vineyard the second year, and this was in the liquor store. And it's a Crush It Like Quint with the beer and everything. And he came running out. He goes, "You gotta get your picture taken with this." And I said, "I'm doing better than that. I'm taking it with me." So I made an offer to the guy at the liquor store, and he let me have it for free. I was gonna give him money, and I was able to just put a cut in it, fold it, and we put it in the car and brought it home. It's part of my collection. I just wish Quint's face wasn't cut out of it, but beggars can't be choosers. Just one little section left, and that is the posters here. So this is the first one. This is my autographed Jaws poster. That's Richard Dreyfuss' signature right there. That is unbelievable. I told him that he could personalize it, because I said it's not going anywhere. I'll never sell it, and but he just was signing. I ended up paying for, I think I